not into furry stuff myself. And I find a lot of it very cringe. Sorry, people that are into fucking animals. Or fucking, humanoid versions of animals. Just, it ain't my thing. Same way that you guys are probably not into supernatural undead. I actually don't know if this is a visual novel or not. We're gonna see. And we're gonna see if we enjoy it. This is a demo which includes the updated chapters 1 and 2. You see, actually putting your demos...
Holy horns! What's with this place? It's ancient. Are you sure we're allowed to be here?
Oh, that's a skip button. I thought that that was a ship button. Why is there a save and a quick save on my menu over here? Like, if I can just click from here, what's the difference? And I was so gonna say something before. And then she came in and went with a horn pun, and I was like, what? Oh yeah. Putting demos into game bundles is kind of scummy. Just saying. I wouldn't rate it good just based on that. Especially considering that you don't actually represent it as a demo until a person comes in and downloads it. But at the same time, I don't mind it being a demo because not only am I not interested into playing the whole product, I might find it kind of creepy. You're allowed to be anywhere as long as no one finds you. Thanks, unnarrated narrator. Sneaking through forbidden cracks in wall is not as easy as once was, but I still managed to push my hat and my staff in somehow without breaking the wall any further. Today is a mess, and the last thing I would want is the whole city knowing that I'm back on my nonsense. Namely, helping fawns trespass into abandoned temples in pursuit of fixing the written lies that pass as history these days. Sigh, I'm too old for this rubbish. I catch a glimpse of Lynn's expression as I push my scarf over my face again. My newest headache looks entirely unconvinced by my logic. That sentence. My newest headache, so I'm gonna assume that they mean the person. Unconvinced by your logic is I would assume that you said something out loud out of all of those things. Look, we're already here and we're gonna need all the help you can get, kid. I don't have time to explain every single little thing to you. Said kids still had any qualms left about following me here. She has the rare decency not to voice them. I mean, this whole ordeal is her fault, in a very roundabout sort of way. Still her fault nonetheless. Sounds like something I would say, honestly. I don't like taking personal responsibility. To be fair though, I don't end up in a situation where I kind of need to all that often, and you eventually do because I'm an adult. But if I can, I won't. It's anyone's but mine, at least. I didn't come all the way back to the city to do charity for his descendants. Casual racism! I just wanted to find that dumbass's grave and clean up a little or leave some incense or something, not this. I wasn't looking to hear legends about any so-called Knight of the Upperfield. I can't get over the fact that everybody's an animal and I don't like it. I know the books in this library won't say a word about him, but I had to come back to this place anyway. The unlikely possibility of finding a trace of his existence among the broken tablets and burnt codices was far too compelling to ignore. Here I am, still following in his footsteps, like the few unlucky scripts that time and thieves spared, frozen in their shelves as they await the return of someone who will understand them. We have a lot of in common, this library and I. The kid's eye opened a fraction wider and only managed to narrowly avoid the incoming onslaught of questions. You're outright vibrating with excitement about your comparison between yourself and the library. Here, ink paper. You can write, right?
Of course! You're talking to the fastest!
Shut it! Ask it as. Ask it that? What?
Sheesh, you're really adding some flavor to my name, huh? Where did all that salt come from? Or could that be the sweetness of an old flame making such a bitter aftertaste?
Goodbye, brain cell. I was using you to think. And now I cannot. Nice of you to visit, though. Oh. Okay, are you implying that the narrator had a thing with your ancestor that is now dead? Ew, no, don't do that. It makes you sound like your mother. I mean, her mother. Or her great-great-great-grandmother? God, I can't believe the story has derailed this much. How long have I been gone?
I can't even start to guess if you won't tell me how old you are.
I'm entirely too old to care about something as dumb as numbers.
Oh gee, I'm starting to see why you wanted me here. Do you have a name, or are you too cool for letters too?
My name would only doom this project. You will be me, and I will be nothing more than the space between words. That's creepy. It is. What do you mean, I will be you? Not a sentence that you should ever say. If you need an alias, you can pick up an alias. That's very easy. You could be like, oh, you know, I don't have a use for names anymore and stuff like that. So just call me Q, or just call me Bob, or just call me the director or something. You can, even if you no longer identify with a name, let's see, like that, because you're a weird hermit that hermited off the civilization's edge, you can still call yourself something.
What a droll way to say you want me getting lynched for this.
I can still keep the story to myself and tell you to get lost, kid. Yes, the director, there you go. I mean, he's calling himself the narrator, so just say that out loud. Just go, I'm the narrator.
But you won't, because after hearing my name, you realize I'm the chosen gazelle that legend of old prophesied would tell the true story of the night, right?
I don't like how you're vibrating. I don't like how you're a gazelle. I do not like this. I'm highly not enjoying this.
I could use a little encouragement here, not gonna lie.
Listen, Lynn, I don't believe in chosen ones, and I certainly don't know what the truth is. I doubt Adder himself ever knew. But I'm gonna tell you the story I know. I will tell it once, and will probably tell it wrong, since I can barely remember it anymore. But even so, I am gonna spread half-truths and lies. That was like the opposite of what I came here to do, so fuck it. Anything I say will be 1,000 times more accurate than any of the odes this witless bunch of foot doodles have been singing through the ages. This may be Adder's punishment for lying his way into history, but I still can't let the name of a friend be smeared like that. So what I mean to say is that I will skewer you if you interrupt me and make me forget something.
Fair.
Finally shuts up for a moment. She was silent for quite a bit there, dude. What's your problem? Though I know the silence won't last. Yeah, she's only interacting like an actual person being with appropriate amount of conversation, so I don't... What? Why are you so grumpy? Right. Good. I guess I should put my own thoughts in order before we begin. The story started back when he left his village to... No, that would be too long. The story starts when he became a knight, and no, that defeats the point. I guess his story... Guess the story starts with me. I could allow myself that much merit, right?
Who are you again?
I'm the one who tells the story you write. Okay, alright, here we go. Chapter 1. What a better way to start a story than when things are about to go south.
Hey, lad.
I don't like that face, it gives me the creeps.
Do I have to go through this every single fuck?
I don't like how your face got nearer to mine, please stay away. I don't like Adder.
Oh boy, here we go.
A beast! I saw a beast!
I don't like either one of you.
Way to call me an eyesore.
I don't like either one of you.
I'm telling you, I saw a beast.
Parents all over the steppes tell their children that these horrible creatures will come and feast upon their flesh if they don't behave. I kinda like these creatures already. Who are those monsters said to feel nothing but an intense desire to devour and destroy? Can I join them? Don't like how all of you look. Created by my during the War of Two, the beast's only purpose was to exact revenge upon Bayat's creation, the deer that had taken over Dakna. Too many words, man.
Right. Look, I'm not drunk enough for this, so good.
This ain't no time to sleep. The beast may be gone, but the Macador is still out there.
I ain't even gonna click. I'm not that interested.
The forest out there has come to find me.
Okay, I can empathize with the walking trees.
Can you stop screaming like an idiot and use your brain for a second?
I knew they'd get to the city one day. We gotta tell everyone.
There are no damn trees around, you dimwit!
A long shush followed right after. That's what will go since the words that their dear neighbors used were too colorful to be reproduced.
Oh, then what did you holler for, Mr. Bard? The sun ain't up yet. If you don't quit your whining, we're gonna get a beating.
Says you, the buck who hath been delighting mine ears with his pitiful wailing all night long.
Say what?
You've been talking in your sleep again.
I don't like this interaction system. I don't like the images that go with this interaction system. I want to hightail out of here.
Well, slap my head and call me silly. I'm so sorry, Mr. Bard. I forgot we were an heirloom for a moment there. But no more. I'm gonna make sure to keep my dreams dead silent from now on.
That's what you said last time. Can't a deer have a hangover in peace for once?
You know that I'd move away if I could. But...
don't sweat it, kid. Once you're faring better, you'll take us both out of our misery.
Wait. Fair? Fair? Oh, 3.
Don't.
The fair!
I swear to Bytet, kid, if you keep screaming, I'm going to kill you.
Threatening to kill people is not a regular way of interacting. I don't know why this person is doing it so cheerfully.
Not if they get to me first!
And so Adder's heavy hooves, oh, I don't like that sentence, stomped the ground with the force of a stampede as he sprinted away, making Jeff regret every decision that led to him suffering this torment.
Glad we sorted that out.
Wide awake now and running as fast as his clumsy hooves would let him, Adder set off to the bazaar. A whole year has come and gone since he first set foot on the streets of Slander District, the most infamous slums of the capital. A place so heinous that walking there alone at night was considered a suicide attempt. A place where they were in your right to keep a house if you could outlast its previous owner. Where he'd once felt like a poor fawn, fearing for his life, now he felt like a poor deer fearing for his life. But at least he actually knew his way around after such a long time avoiding brigands. He had no time to spare worrying about trivial matters such as being robbed or stabbed, for he knew fully well that he was to meet his destiny.
The patron's gonna skin me alive!
Please don't vibrate. A destiny which most likely didn't really include being flailed by his dearest employer. Though we can't rule out that possibility of his direct superior whacking him in the head for oversleeping on such an important date.
What if she hates me now?
I already hate you.
Then the patron won't have no problem kicking me out.
I would have no problem kicking all of you out.
Kick me out, keep my skin as a payment.
I approve of that plan.
Nah, that's dumb.
No, that's very intelligent. Can we do it, please?
But he'll kill me anyway. Oh, crap.
Well, if he doesn't kill you, can he at least kill me? So immersed was he in these fatalistic thoughts invading his head that his brain, which was by all accounts mostly made up of sawdust, didn't pay any mind to the path his hooves were following. And so, is to be expected from someone not heeding the wise advice of look where you're going, he soon met the first obstacle in his way to the plaza. A wall. You can see that I am very engaged in this creature running into walls.
Oh dear.
Oh no, please don't. Dad jokes, puns, ugh. Any other place, that soft chuckle would have meant that Adder wouldn't have the benefit of living with his failures alone. In the slums, it could mean that he wouldn't have the benefit of living at all.
That was almost impressive. I truly thought that you were going to run straight through that wall for a moment.
The voice got closer by the second, followed by strangely harmonic tinkling. A melody that danced in his ears and paralyzed his mind, rendering him frozen in the spot at the thought of an incoming murderous lady. Adder shut his one remaining eye as he held his breath deeply, knowing that it would be the last. Not dead yet? Still not dead. How come he was still alive? That's just rude. What kind of protagonist just assumes that everybody in front of him is out to kill him, please? What kind of protagonist also doesn't like fight or struggle or do anything? What? Yep, just shut your eye and wait for death. I can see why you died. Between his blurry sight and the obfuscating darkness, Adder could barely tell apart the silhouette standing right in front of him. He could have run and screamed and begged for his life, but instead, I mean, yes, just beg for your life at the random passerby. That's gonna be very, very impressive, especially considering that that's a woman. He hesitated long enough for a few stray sun rays to wander among the run-down houses, finally casting light upon his foe. Apparently there's sunlight there too, it's not even that dark.
Whoa.
Please don't move your head.
For your information, everyone already thinks that Rose are thick-skulled. We don't need another martyr for the cause.
Oh god, she's just called Haughty. Adder's absolute lack of reaction made her mocking smile falter. To be fair, he had indeed left a sizable hole in the wall he just crashed against. That was hardly the cause for his sudden drop in mental speed.
Are you okay?
My sudden drop in mental speed is caused by the fact that we're calling Deer hot. Adder nodded, though he hadn't really heard the question. Sensing this, the mysterious lady extended a soft hand towards him in an amiable gesture. I ain't playing cool.
What are those?
Fingers.
I know they're short. Please don't stare.
What kind of nonsense is that? I'd never seen hands like those before.
She's fascinated by hands. Oh god!
My hands? You like my hands?
Were you born with them? How much weight can you lift? Can you use tools at all? Or wear a shirt? What's wrong with your neck? Is that a hood or a scarf? I love the pattern, by the way.
Were you born disabled? Can you use clothing? What's wrong with you?
So,
I'm sorry, ma'am. What was the question?
you, what are you supposed to be?
Disabled.
Oh! Well, I'm just your run-of-the-mill prairie buck, ma'am. Just, you know, my mom gave me shovels for hands and a gourd for a neck. They're better for work in the fields.
Oh, come on. I want the actual story.
You want the boring bits? Okay. See, I used to be all big and strong. But then I come to the city and what do you know? Food ain't so easy to come by. I was so hungry that I'd even eat the rocks of the street.
So I did, and they got wedged in my throat, and then my neck elongated. I'm sorry.
And I go to bed hungry one night, and another, and I keep on starving till I end up 2 meals short of turning into a walking pile of bones. Except for my hands. They just won't get. And they're for real heavy, let me tell you. So, that's the gist of it. You want to hear about my neck, too? Or my name, at least?
A girl's eyes narrowed as she stared at Adder. He fixed his gaze on his hands, considering the strange path the conversation had taken.
So, what you are saying is that you used to be plump?
Plump? Like a fruit? Well, I used to eat a bunch of fruit before I came down here last year, yeah.
Have you considered just going home?
Last year? Wait, how many eyes did you have then?
How many? 5, I think, but I lost the other 4. Just the one, ma'am.
I knew it. You've changed a lot, but it's you. You're that loudmouthed one-eyed chub.
She's a pleasant person to be around.
Say what?
It's me. Don't tell me you've forgotten me.
Jeff has warned Adder multiple times about the dangers of its me scams, but he was pretty tempted to fall into this one.
Ma'am, I don't know what you're selling, but I ain't gonna buy it.
Come on. Don't you remember that night on the bridge under Herod's statue? With the guards laughing at you?
You see, I was the hooker that had hooked up with one of the guards that night. I'm sorry, what? What are the it's me scams? Is it like, hey, but it's me. Don't you remember me? Your old, long-lost classmate. Would you like to buy some essential oils now?
You didn't hit your head that hard, did you?
I bet those guards had one haystack of a night laughing at some poor buck. And I'm pretty darn sure that wasn't me. I'd remember you. Trust me.
It was a pretty long time ago, but wait, I know.
Let me just show you my dick. She bit her lip just long enough to make Adder lose his need to understand the situation anymore.
Come closer.
Who, me? Almost asked the deer, yet there was no one else hiding in the mists of dawn.
I said come closer.
All right then, here I come.
That's it? Come on, don't make me walk over there.
You two are standing like less than a meter apart.
Boop. That's close enough.
He slipped right under Adder's arm, uninvited but not unwelcomed.
Now, if you could get on your knees, you know what? Maybe you should see a doctor after all.
Joseph! There you are!
Ugh, give me a break.
In less than a blink, her smile was back on her face as she turned to face the voice in the distance. It was some other doe in similarly flashy clothing, hurriedly stomping her way towards. Joseph, apparently.
You call?
We've been looking everywhere for you!
And so you found me. Congratulations. Now, if you don't mind...
Miss Rochelle's had us searching for hours! She wants you back immediately!
Well, I'm kind of busy, so... Would you be so kind to go tell her to find someone else to bother? while I catch up with my friend here.
The fair's about to start! Head back already or you'll get us all in trouble!
The red-haired girl stood completely still. She held her breath for an instant.
I'm sorry. Was that an order?
Why am I even playing this? This is making me highly uncomfortable.
What? Miss Rochelle said...
I just want to see where the heck this is going.
Say, do you know what happened to the last wench who had the gall to order me around?
Joseph's smile was still plastered on her face, but her eyes narrowed down to a squint, sharpening her long eyelashes even further.
I don't...
Care to find out?
The doe, looking for her, stammered color drained from her mien. After a few tense seconds, a pleased smile proceeded across Joseph's face.
Come now, honey. Don't make that face. I'm just joking here. I've got too much going on as it is to begin picking fights with my sisters. Don't you think?
Right.
Then that's settled. Let's go.
Joseph whipped her braid as she turned around sharply, making the choir of bells that hung from her hips announce her leave. Adder had barely just a second to register what just happened. He could swear something had moved in the corner, but he couldn't care less. The finest lass he had laid eyes upon in his whole life was about to disappear, and she seemed to have forgotten all about him. Facing the prospect of never seeing her again, he tried at the very least to catch up to introduce himself formally. Let me sum up the events so far. He be horny, yo.
Yes?
But as Adder was about to speak, he had the same feeling of missing something. And so as his gaze drifted towards her back once more, he noticed something else moving behind her derriere. Something long, like a whip ending on a red tuft of fur. Something that most definitely didn't look like a curvine tail. Confused, his eyes quickly traveled from the zone where her back was lost to its name to the top of her head, praying, wishing, desperately hoping that he wouldn't find what he found sprouting from the top of her red head. Horns. Coiled black barhan horns. Longer than his own rack. Adder had to hold back a yelp. He's been so distracted by the rest of her features that... No way, I wasn't looking at her, Adder yelled internally. Beads of sweat began falling from his temples as his face became even more flustered. There's no way I... But if meaning to aggravate his inner turmoil, Yasif smiled one last time with mischievous glint in her eyes.
Don't worry, I'll see you around. Handsome.
Adder was so many things. He was goofy, he was loud, he had a smile that could light up a whole town, he had gigantic, and yet there was a thing he never called himself. It was no doubt handsome. After all, Buck's worth may as well be as large as his horns are, and his well are tiny, almost childlike. So that offhanded compliment, that mere insinuation that someone found him actually good-looking, made his heart flutter. By flutter, I mean it may as well have burst out of his chest right then. So for just 1 second, he forgot about the lady in front of him. He was horned. For a moment, he forgot all the things he heard about gazelles. His face turned red. His jaw came loose. He had been able to articulate. He had found himself completely forgotten the ability to talk. I don't want to read his internal monologue. I really don't. Okay, run. Whoop! Good voice acting. Will be somebody's cup of tea. Definitely will be somebody's cup of tea. And I'm just gonna forget the fact that I had to make a segment on this. I am touching game with animals in it ever again, unless of course it is of intentions that I judge not to be where I am not the target audience. You know, it's weird, but I had like no problems playing Perfect Date or A Thoughtful Boyfriend. It's just don't really know what does it for me. But something does. Something does.